If you're trying to lose fat and gain muscle, compound exercises should be the foundation of your strength training plan. But if you're new to lifting or you just really want to maximize results, you might have a lot of questions. Don't worry, you are not alone, and that's why I made this video today. In today's video, I'm answering the top 10 most common questions I get when it comes to compound exercises for body recomposition or just muscle gain. So whether you're thinking about starting a strength training journey or you're already strength training and you just want to make sure you're doing everything right to make the most of your time in the gym or wherever you do your workouts, then you want to watch this video all the way to the end. So let's get right into it. But of course, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get a notification when I release a new video just like this one every single week. Just before I get into question number one, I just want to let you know I have specific videos already on my channel talking about compound exercises as well as form tips for those compound exercises with barbells. I have a specific video for compound exercises with dumbbells, as well as compound exercises with zero equipment, where I break down the top compound exercises in each of those categories. I will link those videos in the description below if you want to go watch any of those after this one. Question number one, what are compound exercises and how are they different than isolation exercises? Compound exercises or compound lifts are movements that work multiple muscle groups at the same time. Think about exercises like squats that work your legs, your glutes, and your core. Or deadlifts that are working your hamstring, your glutes, and your back. Or say a push-up, where you're working your triceps, your chest muscles, your shoulders, and your core. Now these compound exercises differ from isolation exercises because isolation exercises do just that. They isolate one specific muscle group at a time. So think of things like a bicep curl. You are specifically targeting and isolating one specific muscle group, a tricep extension. Why does this matter? Compound exercises burn more calories because you're recruiting more muscle fibers at the same time, and because you can usually lift more weight in a compound exercise than you can in an isolation exercise. So for that reason, they're going to help you build strength faster than an isolation exercise will. And one of my favorite reasons for using compound exercises is they mimic everyday movements, which is going to make you stronger in the gym, but also help prevent you from blowing out your back when you bend over to pick up your child or carry groceries or put your suitcase in the overhead compartment. But with that being said, compound exercises and isolation exercises both have an important place in an overall strength training plan. So if you are building a strength training plan, compound exercises should be the majority of your workout, and then you can add in isolation exercises at the end to challenge specific muscle groups. Question number two, what are the best compound exercises for fat loss and muscle gain? In my opinion, the compound exercises that mimic the 7 most important movement patterns are the ones you should be focusing on. Movement pattern number one, a squat. So that could be a goblet squat, a barbell back squat, a barbell front squat, a bodyweight squat. The second movement pattern is a hinge. So that would be a deadlift, a kettlebell deadlift, a barbell deadlift, some type of hinging exercise. Third movement pattern is a lunge. So that could be a barbell static lunge, a barbell reverse lunge, a dumbbell reverse lunge, walking lunges. Then the fourth important movement pattern is an overhead press. So again, a barbell overhead press, a dumbbell overhead press, something where you're pressing up. The fifth movement pattern is a horizontal press. So that is where you are pushing horizontally, things like a push-up or a bench press, whether it's a barbell bench press or a dumbbell bench press. The sixth movement pattern is a pull. So that could be a seated row, a lat pull down, a pull up, a chin up. And then the seventh movement pattern is a carry. So that could be a farmer carry, an offset farmer carry marching. The key is to create your plan around these basic movement patterns and then apply progressive overload and do these exercises consistently week after week and get stronger in these specific movement patterns. Question number three, how often should I do compound exercises for a body recomposition, meaning increase lean muscle and drop body fat? Aiming for 3 to 5 strength workouts a week is more than enough. Again, with the majority of that training coming from compound lifts, and sprinkle in some isolation exercises. Now, what is the right split for you? What I like to tell people, the right way to choose how many days a week you should be lifting is one, what works with your schedule and what can you stick to consistently week after week after week after week for a very long time. Two, where is your starting point? If you are someone who is just starting out with strength training, you might be a little bit more sore than the average person. And I always say it's better to start a little bit slower than to go from 0 to 100 and from never worked out before than committing to 5 days of strength training doing heavy compound lifts. But again, this depends on your individual journey, the time you have available, and what you can do consistently. Question number 4, and probably one of the favorite questions I get, is will lifting heavy weights with compound exercises make me bulky? One of the biggest myths in fitness, and especially with women when it comes to weightlifting, is that lifting heavy weights is gonna make you bulky. But the truth is, in order to get toned or lean and start seeing some muscle definition, you have to lift heavier weights, and you have to continually challenge your body and lift heavier weights. But ladies, and maybe some men, that does not mean that you are going to get bulky. Women have much lower testosterone than men, making it very difficult to gain excess muscle mass. So instead, lifting heavy, and whatever is heavy for you, is going to help build lean muscle, improve your body composition, and achieve that toned, strong look, if that's what you're going for. And the best part, the more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns at rest, which in turn will lead to more fat loss. And that is how you achieve that lean, toned look. Now remember, a lot of fat loss results comes from your nutrition. So you can lift all the heavy weights, do all the compound lifts, but if your nutrition is not on point, you will not achieve the fat loss, and that is what is going to result in the more toned look. So both of them work hand in hand. You can't just do one or the other. I just want to take a minute to thank today's video sponsor, Element, one of my go-tos for replenishing my electrolytes after sweaty workouts. Electrolytes are so important for so many functions in the body, including hormonal regulation, nutrient absorption, and fluid balance. Sometimes water just isn't enough, and Element has the perfect balance of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And better yet, 0 artificial sweeteners, no sugar, and no junk. Element can help prevent and eliminate headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, sleeplessness, and other common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency. Right now, Element is offering my listeners a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. Get yours at drinkelement.com/Michelle. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/Michelle. Question number 5, should I do compound exercises before or after cardio? Personal opinion, the best approach, strength training first, cardio after. And now I don't just mean like a 5 or 10 minute jaunt on the treadmill or elliptical. That is totally fine to do to warm up your body before you get into your heavy lifts, but I wouldn't be doing a 45-minute jog on a treadmill before I go and do my compound lifts. Why? Lifting first ensures you have the most fuel and the most energy to lift the heavy weights. And most importantly, maintain proper form while you are lifting heavy weights. If you're doing something like high intensity interval training or 30 minutes on the stair climber extra hard, and then you're gonna go and try and do squats or heavy deadlifts, you're not gonna get the most benefits out of those compound exercises because you're kind of wearing yourself out first. You're more than fine to do that after your strength training workout. I always like to say, what is the purpose of this workout? If you're going to the gym to strength train, you're not necessarily there to burn a whole bunch of calories. You are there to lift weights. So that should be the main focus of your time at the gym. Sprinkle a little cardio before and after is totally fine, but just think, I want to save the most energy I have for my compound exercises. Question number 6, how many reps and sets should I do for fat loss and muscle gain? And a little side question, how do I know if I'm lifting heavy enough? If your goal is fat loss and muscle definition, it's great to stay in an 8 to 12 rep range for 3 to 4 sets of each exercise at a moderate to heavy weight. If your goal is building muscle and building more strength, then you're best to stay in a 4 to 8 rep range with 4 to 5 sets of each exercise, heavier weights. So you're really pushing yourself. And then if your goal is just endurance and conditioning, you can aim for a 12 to 15 rep range. Again, with about 3 to 4 sets at a lighter weight. And of course, in all of these sets and reps, you wanna make sure you are maintaining proper form through every single rep to get the most out of that exercise. And then just the second part of this question is, how do I know if I'm lifting heavy enough? So we've decided for you, you're gonna stay in a 6 to 8 rep range for your bigger compound lifts. Now, this is how you know if you're lifting heavy enough. If you're doing, say, barbell deadlifts, and you do your first lift, and you get to the 8th rep, and you're like, you're not really struggling, your reps look like this, and you're knocking them out like it's no problem. And you probably could have done 10 or 12 at that weight without losing form. That weight is too light for you. So if you're trying to stay in that 6 to 8 rep range, you want to pick a weight where by the 6th rep, you're starting to feel it. I could probably push out 7, maybe push out 8. You're in that range where if I do one more, I might lose form, or you're leaving 1 or 2 reps in the tank where you're ending where you feel comfortable, but your heart rate is up and you really feel your muscles working, you've got that mind-muscle connection going, then that is the right weight for you. And that goes for any exercise. Based on your rep range, you want to be maxing out at or close to the end of that recommended rep range. Question number 7, will compound exercises help me lose belly fat better than cardio would? Short answer, yes, but not directly. If you've watched any other videos on my channel, you know that fat loss comes from eating in a calorie deficit. That's it. That's all. Not from spot reducing in one specific area. But looking at our compound exercises, they are gonna burn more calories in a workout than, say, our isolation exercises. Those compound exercises are gonna help you build more lean muscle, which in turn, in the big picture, is going to help increase your basal metabolic rate, so boost your metabolism. So meaning you are gonna burn more calories at rest than you did 6 weeks ago before you started strength training, which in turn is gonna help with overall fat loss and in turn will help with belly fat loss. But again, we cannot target belly fat with any specific exercise or specific cardio. So in my personal opinion, do your compound exercises to build your muscle, eat properly, get your nutrition down, get your protein, get your calorie deficit set, lock in your nutrition to help with fat loss, and then sprinkle in a little bit of cardio, because cardio is also great for calorie expenditure, and it's also just great for general heart health and mental health. Question number 8, are bodyweight compound exercises effective, or do I need to lift weights? And then what about machines? Now, like I said earlier in the video, this really depends where you're starting. If you are someone who's just getting started on a strength training journey, bodyweight exercises are going to be great for you. But eventually, if you want to continue to see results, you'll have to start lifting weights to apply progressive overload. Bodyweight compound exercises are great. Things like squats, lunges, push-ups, pull-ups, and same goes for machines. If you are someone who's just starting out and you're not comfortable going up to a barbell bench press, you can go to a seated chest press machine and get yourself started on that machine. Get yourself stronger, get yourself used to the movement before you move into that barbell bench press. That is why machines are great. They're gonna help with your form. It's very hard to perform wrong form in a machine. Almost there. Question number 9, should I change up my compound exercises frequently? And can I do them every day? Well, the first answer is no, you don't need to change them up frequently. You don't need to be doing a new workout every single time you go to the gym. My personal opinion is stick to those same core compound movements you choose for 4 to 6 weeks and work on perfecting your form, work on increasing your weight, increasing your reps in those specific movements. And then the second part is, can I do compound exercises every day? I wouldn't recommend it. This depends on what your workout split looks like. So if you're doing an upper-lower split, yep, you can do lower body compound exercises on Monday and upper body compound exercises on Tuesday. You do just want to make sure you're giving yourself 24 to 48 hours between workouts to give those muscles ample time to rest. Overtraining can lead to fatigue, injury, and plateaued results. And last but not least, question number 10, why do I feel certain muscles more than others during compound lifts? One, I would say if you're not feeling exercises where you think you're supposed to be feeling them, first of all, you want to check your form. So even the smallest tweaks to your form can make a huge difference on where you feel the exercise. Second, you want to work on that mind-muscle connection. So your brain talking to the muscle you're supposed to work. Like for example, if you are performing a barbell RDL, a lot of times I see people doing this, right? Versus shoulders back, hips coming out, feeling those muscles stretching, talking to what I call the shelf, talk to the shelf, driving through those glutes and really talking to the muscle you're supposed to feel working versus just going through the motions of the movement. Slow the exercise down, even if it means you have to decrease the weight you've been lifting to really talk to the muscle that you're supposed to be working, slow down the movement so you can really feel where you're supposed to be feeling the exercise. And then of course, something else comes into mind, which is mobility. But most importantly, I would say if you're not feeling an exercise where you're supposed to, Form check. Especially if you're lifting heavy weights, form is so important, not only to make sure you're hitting the right muscles, but also to prevent injury. So there you go, guys. That's the most common questions I get when it comes to compound exercises and strength training for body recomposition or muscle building. If you have any other questions that I didn't mention in today's video, leave them in the video comments below. I'll try and answer all the questions down there. So maybe if your question didn't get answered here in the video, you can scroll through the comments here and you can see my answers to people's questions in the comments. So one-stop shop here for all things compound exercises for body recomposition. So thanks so much for watching. If you need more help with your nutrition or your workouts, you can learn more about my one-on-one online fitness and nutrition coaching program where you work with me one-on-one to reach your fitness and fat loss goals. I also have an 8-week done-for-you strength training program, which is perfect for beginners. There is an option for the gym, there is an option with dumbbell only, there is a 3-day split option and a 4-day split option that is all run through my online coaching app, and it is based around all of the principles I talked about in this video today. If you're looking to get started, that might be a great plan for you. I will also link the information to that program in the video description below as well. And of course, make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed, and I will see you guys next week.